Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Mystery Friday, man. Today, we're going to be reacting to the most notorious celebrity criminals explained. Now, if you're, not living under a rock, you know what I'm saying? You already know more than half of these people. I don't know who this guy is. I didn't even know Mark Wahlberg was going to be on this list because, as far as I know, he's just a movie actor, and I follow him on Instagram, so he's always posting every Sunday that he goes to church and he's really big into God and stuff like that. So that's gonna be interesting to see, what kind of past he had because I had no idea he's gonna be on this list. Um, you know what I'm saying? Ian Watkins, I don't know who this is. This is probably gonna be the craziest story of all of them here. To be honest, I know a lot about what happened with Aaron Hernandez. And then everybody down here, obviously, you guys know what most of them did. So, yeah, not gonna do too much pause in this video like I did the last Mystery Friday because that video turned out to be extremely long for no reason. Um, I was really trying to dissect every single thing that happened, but all right, man. Without further ado, let's just get into it. I hope you guys enjoy the video.
John Wilkes Booth was born on May 10, 1838, in Bel Air, Maryland, into a prominent theatrical family. His father, Junius Brutus Booth, was a famous Shakespearean actor, and his siblings, including Edwin Booth, also had successful acting careers. Raised in a well-off family, Booth developed a passion for the stage at an early age. By his early 20s, he had become a well-known actor, particularly in the South, where he was admired for his dramatic performances and good looks. His talent and charisma made him a celebrity in the theater world, often performing Shakespearean roles to great acclaim. Despite his success, Booth harbored strong Confederate views during the American Civil War. As the war came to a close, he became increasingly enraged over the Union's victory and President Abraham Lincoln's leadership. On April 14, 1865, Booth assassinated Lincoln at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. during a performance of Our American Cousin. He shot the president in the back of the head before leaping onto the stage and fleeing. His crime sent shockwaves throughout the nation as Lincoln was deeply admired. Booth became the subject of one of the most intense manhunts in U.S. history, and after nearly 2 weeks on the run, he was tracked to a barn in Virginia and fatally shot by Union soldiers on April 26, 1865. Public reaction to his crime was overwhelmingly negative, with many viewing him as a villain rather than a hero of the Confederacy. His assassination of Lincoln cemented his legacy as one of history's most infamous criminals, overshadowing his prior fame as an actor. Today, Booth is remembered not for his stage performances, but for his role in one of the most notorious assassinations in American history. Roman Polanski is a Polish
So that's why he
film
killed him, because he liked the whole slavery thing.
1933, in Paris, France. His early childhood was marked by trauma when his family was forced into the Krakow ghetto during Germany's occupation of Poland. His mother died in Auschwitz, though his father survived the war. After reuniting with his father, Polanski studied filmmaking at the National Film School, located in Lodz, Poland. He rose to international fame as a director in the 1960s, with critically acclaimed films such as Knife in the Water, which earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Foreign Language Film. His move to Hollywood solidified his celebrity status with psychological thrillers such as Rosemary's Baby and Chinatown. In 1977, Polanski's career took a dramatic turn when he was arrested and charged with drugging and sexually assaulting 13-year-old Samantha Gailey during a photo shoot at Jack Nicholson's home. Polanski initially pleaded not guilty to all.
Well, wait, why is a 13-year-old taking pictures like this with the shirt wide open? I don't understand. That's a red flag off rip. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Charges, but later accepted a plea bargain, pleading guilty to unlawful sexual intercourse with a minor. Before his sentencing hearing in 1978, believing the judge might go back on the plea deal and impose a lengthy prison sentence, Polanski fled the United States to France. He has remained a fugitive from the U.S. justice system ever since. The public reaction to Polanski's crime was very shocking, as while many condemned his actions, some in the film industry continued to support him. His case became even more controversial in 2009 when he was arrested in Switzerland at the request of U.S. authorities, though he was eventually released. Despite the scandal, Polanski has continued to make acclaimed films, including The Pianist, which won him an Academy Award for Best Director. His case remains unresolved, and at 91, he continues to live primarily in France, unable to enter countries with strong extradition agreements with the United States. Mark Wahlberg was
Wow.
born on June 5, 1971, in Boston, Massachusetts, as the youngest of 9 children in a working-class family. His
9.
upbringing was marked by poverty, instability, and delinquency, and by his teenage years, he had dropped out of high school and was involved in crime, including drug dealing and violent assaults. His troubled youth culminated in a 1988 incident when, at 16 years old, he attacked 2 Vietnamese men in a racially motivated assault. Wahlberg was charged with attempted killing, but pleaded guilty to felony assault and served 45 days of a 2-year sentence in prison. Despite his criminal past, Wahlberg managed to reinvent himself. In the early 1990s, he gained fame as the frontman of the hip-hop group Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, known for their hit song Good Vibrations. However, his true rise to stardom came when he
Nah, that
transitioned
name is
into
crazy.
acting. His breakthrough role in Boogie Nights led to a successful career in Hollywood, starring in films such as The Departed. Initially, Wahlberg's past was widely criticized, specifically by civil rights groups. Over the years, however, he expressed remorse and sought to distance himself from his youth, even applying for a pardon in 2014, though he later said he regretted the request. His criminal history remains a controversial aspect of his legacy, though it has not significantly hindered his career. Today, Wahlberg is a highly successful actor, producer, and businessman, known for his roles in action films and comedies. His transition from a troubled youth to a Hollywood star has been framed as a redemption story, though debates over his past actions continue. As of now, he remains an influential figure in the entertainment industry. Mike Tyson was
I'm gonna pause it for that. What I will say is, if he had a really troubled childhood, and what I'm saying, he lived in like poverty and stuff like that. Like, listen, bro, you gotta have some common sense, right? If you're living in a poor family in a poor area, you don't have much going on around you, good like influences or anything like that, because we don't know what his parents were like. We don't know what his home was like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's gonna do bad things, and I'm not saying that's an excuse for doing them. What I am saying though is that from how he started off as a teenager to where he's at now, where he's completely like transformed himself, and obviously looks can be deceiving, but again, from what things look like, he goes to church every Sunday. He looks like he's keeping his faith with Christ like very seriously, which I take very seriously. I think that it's one of those things that, yes, you may not forget about it, but you can always I feel like you can always forgive anyone that had a bad past based off of you know what I mean, like how they've transformed their life, and that's pretty controversial for a lot of people. But again, it just depends on what your views are. For me, my views are the views of the Bible, and in the Bible it says that you must forgive everybody. It doesn't matter what they did. Does not matter, bro. You gotta forgive them. You know what I mean? Because if God forgives them, then who am I as a human to not forgive somebody? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that. I think that's pretty crazy, but that's my view on it. I think that, you know what I'm saying, that's in the past. He's transformed himself. He's good.
was born on June 30th, 1966, in Brooklyn, New York, and grew up in poverty in a crime-ridden neighborhood. His troubled childhood included frequent run-ins with the law, and by his early teens, he had been arrested multiple times for petty crimes. However, his life took a turn when he was introduced to boxing trainer Cus D'Amato, who became his mentor and legal guardian. Under D'Amato's guidance, Tyson developed into a prodigy, and by the age of 20, he became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, known for his power and aggressive fighting style. Tyson's career was marked by
Because he's
both
from the
extraordinary
street. That's
success
why.
and controversy, as in 1992, he was convicted of having forced non-consensual sex with 18-year-old Desiree Washington, a beauty pageant contestant. The case was highly publicized, and despite his claims of innocence, he was sentenced to 6 years in prison. He served nearly 3 years before being released on parole in 1995, and public reaction to his conviction was divided, as some saw it as a just punishment, while others believed it wasn't enough. His conviction damaged his reputation, but he made a comeback in boxing, regaining titles, and remaining a major figure in the sport. Beyond his legal troubles, Tyson's career was further defined by his erratic behavior, including biting Evander Holyfield's ear in a 1997 match, financial struggles, and drug addiction. Despite these setbacks, he later reinvented himself through acting, business ventures, and personal growth. He has since become a pop culture icon, known for his introspective interviews and appearances in films like The Hangover. As of today, Tyson is alive and continues to be a significant figure in sports and entertainment. Tupac Shakur was born on June 16, 1971 in New York City. Raised by his mother, Afeni Shakur, a former Black Panther, Tupac grew up in a politically conscious but financially unstable environment. Moving frequently between New York, Baltimore, and California, he developed an early love for poetry and acting before transitioning into music. He gained fame in the early 1990s as a rapper, known for his powerful lyrics that address social issues, poverty, and racial injustice. Albums like Me Against the World and All Eyes on Me cemented his status as one of hip-hop's greatest artists, but despite his musical success, his life was often surrounded by controversy and legal troubles. In 1994, he was shot 5 times in a robbery at a New York recording studio, an event that fueled tensions between East Coast and West Coast rappers. In 1995, he was convicted of sexual abuse in a case involving a woman who accused him of assaulting her in a hotel room. He was sentenced to 1.5 to 4.5 years in prison, but served only 9 months before being released on bail. Funded by Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight, Tupac's legal issues and involvement in the East Coast-West Coast rivalry shaped his legacy as both a rebel and a tragic figure. On September 7, 1996, he was shot multiple times in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas and died 6 days later at the age of 25. His killing remains unsolved.
Dang, only
adding to the mystery
25?
and myth surrounding his life.
I didn't know
Today,
that.
Tupac is remembered as one of the most influential rappers of all time, with his criminal past.
Dang, I thought he was at
often
least
seen as
like
part of his complex
30 or
life and
something, right? I know he
artistry.
died at
O.J.
25.
Simpson was born on July 9, 1947 in San Francisco, California. Raised by a single mother in a low-income neighborhood, he overcame early struggles to become a standout football player. Excelling at the University of South Carolina, he won the Heisman Trophy in 1968 before embarking on a highly successful NFL career with the Buffalo Bills and later the San Francisco 49ers. Known for his speed and agility, Simpson became a household name, not only as an athlete, but also as an actor and commercial spokesperson. Simpson's life took a dark turn in 1994 when his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman, were found brutally killed outside her home in Los Angeles. Suspicion immediately fell on Simpson, who led police on a nationally televised low-speed chase in his white Ford Bronco before being arrested. His trial, which lasted from 1994 to 1995, became one of the most publicized in American history, often referred to as the trial of the century. Despite overwhelming evidence, including DNA and blood samples linking him to the crime scene, Simpson was acquitted in October 1995, a verdict that deeply divided public opinion. Although he was found not guilty in criminal court, Simpson was later found liable for the wrongful deaths of Brown and Goldman in a 1997 civil trial, resulting in a $33.5 million judgment against him. His reputation never recovered, and in 2008, he was convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping in Las Vegas, serving 9 years in prison before being released in 2017. As of now, Simpson remains a controversial figure, with his criminal past overshadowing his once celebrated football career. Jeffrey Epstein was born on January 20th, 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. Raised in a middle-class household, he showed academic promise and briefly attended college, but never earned a degree. Despite this, he secured a job as a teacher at an elite private school, which led to connections that helped him transition into finance. By the 1980s, he had established himself as a wealthy financier, managing money for billionaires and cultivating relationships with high-profile figures, including politicians, celebrities, and royalty. His mysterious wealth and elite connections made him a prominent figure in business and social circles. However, beneath his luxurious lifestyle, Epstein was engaged in a vast criminal enterprise involving the trafficking and sexual abuse of underage girls. Reports of his crimes began surfacing in the early 2000s, leading to his first arrest in 2006. In 2008, he struck a controversial plea deal in Florida, pleading guilty to soliciting a minor for prostitution. He served only 13 months in a county jail under lenient conditions, sparking outrage over what many saw as a failure of the justice system. Public scrutiny intensified in 2019 when federal authorities arrested Epstein on new charges of sex trafficking minors. He was denied bail, and as his case gained worldwide attention, many powerful individuals with ties to him came under suspicion. However, before his trial could proceed, Epstein was found dead in his Manhattan jail cell on August 10, 2019. Authorities claim he ended his own life, though speculation and conspiracy theories persist. His crimes left a stain on his legacy, with his name now synonymous with elite corruption and abuse. His downfall exposed systemic failures in law enforcement and the justice system, ensuring that his notoriety endures long after his death. Chris Brown was born on May 5th,
Oh my gosh, bro. And this is one more thing I want to say. I've been saying this for years. I said this to my friends. I've said this to everybody, bro. I don't understand celebrities, whether you're an actor, a rapper, a singer, content creator, YouTuber, whatever you do. Why is it that when people get fame and money, when they finally completed that portion of life, and I'm gonna say that portion because when you get that stuff, you don't complete life. You know what I'm saying? You can still be empty inside and have all that. You do something that a lot of people dream of doing, of being rich and having fame and etc. You do all that, and then you just like throw your life away to mess around with kids as a grown ass man when you could, you know what I'm saying? Bro, you're rich and famous. It shouldn't be hard for you to get a woman. Why are you going after kid? Like, oh my gosh, bro. I'll never understand that. Celebrities that do that, bro. Like public figures that do that. Like, why, bro? Why? You know what I'm saying? Why, bro?
Growing up in a small
I'll never
town,
understand that
he developed a passion
logic.
for music at an early age, heavily influenced by R&B and hip-hop artists. His natural talent for singing and dancing led to his discovery by
Yeah, I know this was gonna be about
Rihanna. He was just
Rihanna.
a teenager, and in 2005, he released his self-titled debut album. The success of hits like Run It made him a teen sensation, often compared to Usher and Michael Jackson. Over the years, he solidified his place in the music industry with chart-topping songs and electrifying performances. However, Brown's career took a major hit in 2009 when he was arrested for physically assaulting his then-girlfriend, pop star Rihanna. The incident occurred the night before the Grammy Awards and shocked the public when graphic photos of Rihanna's
And
injuries
Rihanna was
were
so
released.
skinny back then.
Brown was charged with felony assault.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
making
Look at
criminal
that, bro.
threats, ultimately pleading guilty. He was sentenced to 5 years of probation, community service, and domestic violence counseling.
Now, if I remember, right, I don't remember the whole facts, but if I remember, Rihanna was hitting him too. You know what I'm saying? Rihanna was hitting him too. He just happened to violate because, you know, he's a man. You know what I'm saying? He violated, and look at how her face ended up. But if I'm not mistaken, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like in this situation, they always trying to make Rihanna seem like the saint. She did something too. I don't remember exactly what it was, but she did something to him which caused him to do that. I'm just putting that out there.
The case and its aftermath lasted several years.
I'm not taking his side. I'm just simply saying there's always two sides to every story.
And further accusations of violence. Public reaction to the assault was intense, with many condemning him, while others defended or forgave him over time. His career faced setbacks, with endorsements lost and radio stations banning his music, but he continued releasing successful albums. Despite later controversies, including more altercations and accusations, Brown has remained a prominent figure in the music industry. While his talent is undeniable, his criminal record continues to be a divisive part of his legacy. As of today, Brown is active in music, though his reputation remains forever shaped by the 2009 assault and the controversies that followed. Ian Watkins was born on July 30th, 1977 in Merthyr Tydfil, Wales, and grew up in Pontypridd. From a young age,
I don't know
he
who
was
this is.
passionate about music and later pursued a degree in graphic design at the University of Wales. In 1997, he co-founded the rock band Lost Prophets, where he served as the lead vocalist. The band gained significant popularity in the early 2000s, with hits like Last Train Home and Rooftops, earning a dedicated fan base and critical acclaim. Watkins was seen as a charismatic frontman and played a key role in the band's success, making them one of the most well-known British rock acts of the era. However, Watkins' public image was shattered in 2012 when he was arrested and charged with multiple child sex offenses. The following investigation uncovered horrific crimes, including sexual assault of a baby, child sexual abuse, and possession of extreme images of children. Authorities revealed that he had used his celebrity status to manipulate and exploit fans, some of whom were involved in his crimes. His arrest shocked the music world, and Lost Prophets immediately disbanded. Watkins pleaded guilty in November 2013 to numerous offenses, and in December, he was sentenced to 35 years in prison. The case was met with widespread disgust and shock, with many former fans, bandmates, and the public completely disowning him. His crimes tarnished the legacy of Lost Prophets, with their music largely removed from streaming services and radio play. As of today, Watkins remains incarcerated in a high-security prison. His crimes are considered among the most heinous committed by a public figure, and his downfall serves as an example of how fame can be used to manipulate others to do horrible things.
No comment, bro.
Was born on November
Ridiculous,
6,
bro. No comment.
In Bristol, Connecticut. Raised in a middle-class home, he was a standout athlete in high school, and later
this one's crazy.
Football at the University of Florida.
I watched a documentary on this.
Championship. His talent as a tight end led to him being drafted by the New England Patriots in 2010. Hernandez became a key part in the Patriots offense and was rewarded with a $40 million contract in 2012, securing his status as one of the NFL's rising stars. Despite his success, Hernandez had a troubled personal life marked by violent tendencies and alleged gang affiliations. On June 26, 2013, he was arrested for the killing of Odin Lloyd, a semi-professional football player who was dating the sister of his fiancée. Lloyd had been found shot multiple times in an industrial park near Hernandez's home in Massachusetts. The investigation quickly linked Hernandez to the crime, and he was charged with first-degree killing. The trial lasted from 2014 to 2015, and in April 2015, he was convicted and sentenced to life in prison without parole. Further investigations connected Hernandez to other violent incidents, including a 2012 double homicide in Boston, though he was acquitted of those charges in 2017. Just days after his acquittal, Hernandez was found dead in his prison cell on April 19, 2017, with it being believed he took his own life. His death led to revelations that he had suffered from severe CTE, a degenerative brain disease linked to repeated head trauma. Hernandez's story remains one of the most shocking falls from grace in sports history. His legacy is forever marked by his violent crimes, raising questions about the effects of CTE, mental health, and the culture of violence in professional football. Bill Cosby was born on July 12, 1937.
This is another freaking weirdo, man.
Pennsylvania. Raised in a working-class family, he developed a talent for storytelling and comedy at an early age. After serving in the U.S. Navy, he pursued stand-up comedy, quickly rising to fame in the 1960s. His success led to roles on television, most notably The Cosby Show, where he played a character named Dr. Heathcliff Huxtable. The show portrayed a successful black family and made Cosby a beloved father figure in American entertainment. Beyond television, he was known for his advocacy for education and family values. However, Cosby's public image was shattered when multiple women accused him of sexual assault, with allegations spanning decades. While rumors had circulated for years, the accusations gained momentum in 2014 when comedian Hannibal Buress publicly called Cosby out. This led to renewed scrutiny, and dozens of women came forward with similar stories, accusing him of drugging and assaulting them. The legal case against Cosby centered on Andrea Constan, who accused him of drugging and assaulting her in 2004. In 2015, Cosby was charged, and after a mistrial in 2017, he was convicted in 2018 of 3 counts of aggravated incident assault. He was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison, and public reaction was deeply divided. Many saw his conviction as a victory for the Me Too movement, while others struggled to reconcile his crimes and his once wholesome image. Cosby served nearly 3 years before his conviction was overturned in 2021 due to procedural issue. Although legally free, his reputation remains in ruins.
Oh, he's free right now? I thought he was still in prison. Wow. I mean, how old is he, bro? He's like almost 100, isn't he? He's like mad old. Wow, I didn't know he was free right now. That's freaking crazy. After everything he did, he's free right now. That's tough.
With his legacy permanently overshadowed by his criminal actions. Daniel Hernandez, known professionally as Tekashi 6ix9ine, was born on May 8, 1996 in Brooklyn, New York. Raised in a rough neighborhood, he faced hardships early in life, including the killing of his father when he was a child. He dropped out of school and worked various jobs before turning to music. And in 2017, he gained viral fame with his aggressive rap style.
Bro, they put the San Andreas thing in the top right corner, bro.
Persona. His breakout single, Gummo, established him as a rising star in hip-hop, and his social media antics,
this was a crazy time in life, bro.
Made him one of the most polarizing figures in the industry. However, his ties to the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods, a violent street gang, led to serious legal trouble. In 2018, he was arrested on federal racketeering and firearms charges, along with multiple gang members. Prosecutors accused him of participating in violent crimes, including shootings, robberies, and drug trafficking. Facing a potential life sentence, 6ix9ine cooperated with authorities, testifying against his former gang associates in exchange for a reduced sentence. This cooperation, often labeled as snitching, made him a target within the hip-hop.
Which again, I said this then, I'm gonna say it now. This dude Jadon, you know, he does great job with these videos, by the way. This is not me at all slandering him. But he is not also giving the facts, because he's trying to make this video quick. He's not giving the facts of why he snitched, right? 6ix9ine did explain this in the video, and there's proof even before he explained it, where, dude, people of his gang, right? They had sex with his girl, with his baby mom, right? They kidnapped him, they beat him, they robbed him, and this was before he did any snitching, right? So if they're supposed to be a close group, right, a gang or brothers or whatever, bro, why are they doing all that stuff to him? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't be surrounded by fame and money and all this other stuff. So why are they doing this to him? So when he got arrested, that's why he snitched. He's not about to do a life sentence for those people. And let's be real, bro. Every single person, like literally every single person that was hating on him and calling him a rat, bro, if you got a life sentence thrown right in front of your face, bro, you're not doing that life sentence. If they said, listen, you're about to do a life sentence, but if you give us information on these people, we'll let you go in 2 years. Stop playing, bro. You're gonna look me dead in the face and you're gonna say that you're taking that life sentence, bro? Nah, I'm not trying to hear it. He did what every other person would do in his situation. I don't care how hard you think you are. I don't care what kind of gangs. I don't care what street cred you get. It does not matter who you are. We're human at the end of the day. At the end of the day, nobody is willingly doing a life sentence for other people. I'm not buying it, bro. I'm not buying it. And if you do that,
he pleaded guilty
that's
to
on you,
multiple
bro.
charges
I ain't gonna
and
lie,
was
that's
sentenced
on
to
you.
2 years in prison, significantly reduced due to his cooperation. He was released early in 2020 due to COVID-19 concerns, and while many in the rap industry disowned him, he attempted a comeback, releasing music and embracing his informant reputation. His public image remains highly controversial, with some fans still supporting him, while others view him as a horrible person. As of today, 6ix9ine is still active in music, though his legacy is forever linked to his criminal past and cooperation with law enforcement. Harvey Weinstein was born on March 19, 1952 in Queens, New York. Raised in a middle class
I don't know
Jewish
too much
family,
about Weinstein. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's like very, very similar though to Epstein and what's that other guy's name? And Cosby. I think he's similar to them. I don't know too much about Harvey Weinstein
and entertainment at an early age. Along with his brother Bob, he co-founded Miramax, a film distribution company that became a powerhouse in independent cinema. By the 1990s, Weinstein had established himself as one of the most influential producers in Hollywood, backing critically acclaimed films such as Pulp Fiction, Shakespeare in Love, and Good Will Hunting. His success earned him multiple Academy Awards and made him a dominant force in the entertainment industry. However, Weinstein's career unraveled in 2017 when investigative reports by the New York Times and the New Yorker exposed decades of sexual misconduct. Dozens of women, including high-profile actresses, accused him of sexual harassment, assault, and forced non-consensual sex. The allegations spanned over 30 years, with many victims describing a pattern of coercion, threats, and abuse of power. The revelation sparked the Me Too movement, encouraging survivors of sexual violence to speak out. Legal action quickly followed, and in 2018, Weinstein was arrested and charged with multiple counts of sexual assault and forced non-consensual sex. His trial began in January 2020 and lasted several weeks. In February 2020, he was convicted of forced non-consensual sex in the 3rd degree and a criminal sexual act in the 1st degree. He was sentenced to 23 years in prison, and in 2022, he faced additional charges in Los Angeles, where he was convicted again and sentenced to 16 more years. Weinstein's downfall marked a turning point in Hollywood, leading to greater accountability for powerful figures. Once a celebrated producer, he is now regarded as one of the most horrible people in the entertainment industry. As of today, he remains in prison, with his legacy permanently tainted by his crimes. R. Kelly, born Robert Sylvester Kelly on January 8, 1967 in Chicago, Illinois, grew up in a low-income household and faced significant hardships, including allegations.
I just want to say real quick too that regardless of what he did, bro, he has some crazy like classic hits, bro. He got some good songs, and I listen to them sometimes. Sometimes they pop up, and I listen to them. Cause man, the songs are fire, man. I can't control what he did, bro. The songs are fire. You know, like, just sucks this freaking idiot did that, bro. He actually like was a good artist and a good singer, bro, and he freaking ruined it, man. People literally kill themselves, man. It's crazy.
His status as one of R&B's biggest stars. His ability to craft chart-topping songs made him a household name and a dominant force in the music industry. However, troubling allegations followed Kelly for years. Rumors of inappropriate relationships with underage girls first surfaced in the 1990s, including his illegal marriage to singer Aaliyah when she was just 15 years old. In 2002, a videotape allegedly showing Kelly engaging in sexual acts with a minor led to possession of extreme images of children. After a lengthy trial,
oh, that's the piss video. I never saw that. I'm glad I never saw it, but I've heard a lot about it.
Despite evading conviction for years, allegations continue to mount. In 2019, the surviving R. Kelly documentary shed light on his alleged history of sexual abuse, coercion, and human trafficking. Public outrage reignited, and he was arrested on multiple federal charges, including racketeering and sex trafficking. His trial in New York lasted from August to September 2021, resulting in a conviction. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison in 2022, and a separate trial in Chicago led to additional convictions, adding 20 more years to his sentence. Once regarded as an R&B legend, Kelly's legacy is now overshadowed by his crimes. His downfall is one of the most high-profile cases in the Me Too era, and as of today, he remains in prison with his reputation forever damaged.
Yeah.
Sean Diddy Combs, born on November 4,
and another
1969 in Harlem, New York City.
How many pedophiles and sex offenders have we seen on this list already? On notorious celebrity crimes, bro. Probably like almost 10. I haven't been keeping count, but it's a lot, bro. It goes to show, like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro. I don't know why this is in the celebrity world. This is like such a freaking popular thing to do. It's so weird, bro.
To support him, instilling in him a strong work ethic. Combs attended Howard University, but left to pursue a career in music, quickly ascending to prominence in the hip-hop industry. As the founder of Bad Boy Records, he was instrumental in launching the careers of artists such as the Notorious B.I.G. Beyond music, Combs expanded his brand to include fashion lines, acting, and producing, becoming a significant figure in the entertainment world. However, Combs' career has been ruined by numerous allegations of sexual misconduct and abuse. In May 2017, Cindy Rueda, his former personal chef, filed a lawsuit accusing him of sexual harassment and retaliation, which was settled in February 2019. In November 2023, his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit alleging forced non-consensual sex, trafficking, and physical abuse, but the case was dismissed after a quick settlement. Shortly after, 2 more lawsuits accused Combs of sexual assault and distributing intimate images without consent. A significant development occurred in May 2024 when surveillance footage surfaced showing Combs physically assaulting Cassie in 2016.
Yeah, that video is disturbing, bro.
The most severe allegations emerged in September 2024 when Combs was arrested on federal charges, including racketeering, sex trafficking by force, and transportation for prostitution. The indictment described a criminal enterprise, led by Combs, that exploited women through threats and physical force. As of March 2025, Combs remains incarcerated at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, having been denied bail multiple times.
He's in Brooklyn right now?
His trial is scheduled to begin on May 12, 2025, with jury selection starting on May 5th. If convicted, he faces a potential life sentence. These allegations have profoundly impacted Combs' legacy, transforming him from a celebrated music producer and entrepreneur to a figure associated with serious criminal misconduct. The public's reaction has been one of shock and disappointment, specifically given his previous status as a prominent and influential figure. Thank you very much for watching this video.
Yeah, man. Once again, bro, Jadon, bro, great video, man. This dude's a great YouTuber, bro. If you guys want to check out his videos for yourselves, go ahead, man. every time I try to do these Mystery Fridays, I always try to look up, things that are like controversial or like conspiracy theories, and he's the main guy that pops up, bro. So he's doing a good job. You know what I'm saying? I don't. No, I don't. I'm not being told by him to do this. I'm definitely not getting paid to do any of this stuff. I just get props where it's due, man. He makes great videos, so good job, man. But I don't really got too many comments on this video, bro. It's just really sad. How pretty much everybody, I want to say, except for like Wahlberg and yeah, pretty much just Wahlberg, bro. I feel. Let me look at the picture. I don't remember who else. Yeah, pretty much Wahlberg, and that's it. Everybody else, bro, they pretty much killed their career by doing something stupid. Wahlberg's situation was he was a kid, and he did stupid things as a kid. Like I said, I'm not excusing it, but I'm saying that compared to everybody else, everybody did stuff when they were pretty much adults, man. He did stuff when he was like 12, 13. He was a kid. So it's maybe I'm getting the ages wrong. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But yeah, it just sucks. It sucks that, people do stuff like this, but unfortunately that's part of the world, man. The world is a cruel place, and you gotta be really careful. You gotta stay on your toes, and again, at the end of the day, you gotta have a relationship with the Lord, man. Because if you don't, it'll lead you down temptation. It'll lead you down a bad path, and ultimately it'll lead you in a place where you don't want to be here on Earth, and when we pass away. So that's gonna do it for this video, man. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. It really helps to support the channel. We are almost at 200 subs, so um, you know I really, really, really appreciate every single person that's been showing my channel love, man. I haven't been able to post this week, and I think this week alone I've gained like 15 subscribers. It's unbelievable. I don't even know how to really put it into words or even like emotions. Like I can't believe that last year in August I started my channel and I was just hoping for 10 subscribers, man. And now I'm a couple subscribers away from 200. I can't believe it, bro. To me, to a lot of people, that's nothing, man. But the way I like to view it is like put 200 people in your house, and you're gonna think that's a lot of dang people in your house, right? Well, to me, that's the same way, bro. That's like if I put 200 people in my room right now to watch one of my videos, I'm gonna be like, dang, bro, that's a lot of people. What I'm saying? Like that's the way I view it. Like it's a lot of people. So subscribe to me, and I really appreciate it. So once again, man, just thank you guys so much for pulling through. I'll see you guys next time for the next Mystery Friday, man. Peace.